So, how's my journey in TESOL going? Um, the TESOL certificate, I would say, would be far easier if the material I've actually been given was actually more friendly. Friendly would be the politest way of saying it. Um, Context is something I really need for things. It's just the way I am. Um, as somebody who comes from engineering and I've been fighting against abbreviations, etc., it's not been the nicest paperwork I've dealt with. Um, Also, even the YouTube videos that they provided as part of the helping aren't that great. To the point I will redo some of their training material in my own versions. Um, Not plagiarism, it's basically covering the topics just so that it's easier to understand. I get the feeling some people do the teacher training for teachers without the assumption, with too much assumption on people already knowing what they're doing, which would be fine if people were already in the industry, but we're obviously coming into the industry from an external, and as such, we need that extra bit of material, um, which is more about putting things in context and stronger explanations than dealing with assumptions. I'll be honest with you, I don't make any assumptions when I train people in engineering, so I find it a bit blasé that this stuff is actually missing in this. But at the same time, going forward, I'm going to finish my certificate and then go back through creating videos on specific topics, so that they're explained in more detail. This isn't actually taking material out of the course, this is actually explaining the bits you need to understand, the bits that are important for the base of understanding. Because reading it in black and white on the screen, it's not easy to absorb, it's not easy to understand. It's much easier to put into context and showing different ways it can be used, etc., etc. Um, and I've gone through the course with a blend of seeing what sort of questions I'm needed to answer, and then using YouTube. Well, I'll be honest with you, I shouldn't have to use YouTube. Paid enough for the course, but you have to, because the information's there, but it's just not given in a way that's easy to understand. But hey ho, we live and learn. But like I said, this is all a training exercise. This is all stepping in the right direction. I want to do a certificate because once this is all fully understood, then obviously going forward from here, it makes it easier to teach other people. Um, but like I said, I want to get it in a context which is far easier to understand than what I see sometimes, which is blah blah blah, where people will just talk for the sake of talking, where a single word would actually suffice if it was the right word. Um, so from that point of view, yeah, I'll be putting some material up once I've got my course done. Will I pass? Well, the fact that I've done about 40% now, and I think another week I should actually finish this. Although this is a 120-hour course, I'll tell you now that this will not make you a teacher. You will need to get your certificate and then sit and break it all back down, start working on planners, etc., and start structuring your whole lesson program. This is a bit like a locksmith course I did years ago. I did lock openings over a weekend because I can pick door locks open. It doesn't matter what type of door lock it is, I can open it. But the whole point is that taught you how to open the door in one specific way, which is with picks. But then there's other things like if the key's in the back of the door from the other side, if there is a damaged door handle, etc., and using a lever, etc. There's lots of different things you develop over time, which is what you need to realize. This is not simply, I've done a course, I'm going to start teaching. This is, you do the course, you've got the structure, you've got the tools there, but now you have to start learning how to use them, developing them, make them your own. And I don't think it's difficult. I think it's more a case of to do with investing time in making sure that you fully understand everything, but also that you understand what you need to do for teaching. Because some of the stuff I've seen other people doing hasn't been fantastic. But at the same time, it's a starting point. And this is the thing, this is the starting point. But I would also say I would think within next 2-3 weeks I'll be teaching my first students, even though the first guinea pig is actually somebody who's teaching me Spanish. They don't know yet, but they're going to become my first test guinea pig on me teaching English, because I'll structure as if they were my paying student, but instead we'll be teaching them English, and in return they'll teach me Spanish, and they can't complain because they're not paying in any way. But it's all worth doing, and there's another thing you could be doing is getting yourself on some of these language exchanges and simply giving it away for free so that you can use them as guinea pigs. And the advantage when nobody's paying anything is they can give you positive and negative feedback, and nobody feels like there's any pressure on. They don't feel that they've been robbed because you're bad at it. You don't feel that you owe them anything if it's not fantastic, because you're learning. Thanks for listening. Oh, and like I said, there'll be more material going up, but I'll be putting another 2 channels up for this. There'll be a TESOL channel, which will be based around the test subjects, and there'll be another channel which is teaching English. They're both going to be up and running probably the next 6 weeks, I would have thought, because for me, one of the things I don't mention on the YouTube channels is I remember stuff better on YouTube. Also, explaining it to other people makes it easier for me to understand. For example, if I was explaining to you about verbs, for example, me having to explain it means I'll have to study it a bit more to give more variables and stuff on there, so that there's more context and more information, because I've got to talk about it for a few minutes. So it then encourages me to improve my ability as well. So everybody benefits. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.